Hey there guys, this is Chef Chris, and today we are making risotto style cooked pasta in a delicious mushroom sauce. Alright, this is going to be totally different than what you're used to, but I'll walk you through it, and let's get started. In a saute pan, we got on about medium heat, I threw in about a cup of white wine. Alright, we're going to let that alcohol burn off a little bit, and we're going to toss in raw pasta here. Now this is a totally different way of cooking pasta. It's not traditional like throwing in some boiling water with salt, or like I did the other day where I made it in chicken broth. We're actually going to cook this risotto style. It's just like if you've had risotto, you know that it's a rice dish, and you're going to throw it in, you're going to cook it slowly by adding chicken broth. We're going to use that exact same method in the pasta. Once I threw in the pasta into that white wine, once the white wine was infused into that pasta, we're throwing in about half a cup, a little over half a cup each time. I tossed it in. As you can tell, all that liquid has been absorbed into the pasta, and once it has, we're going to redo it. I'm throwing in another half a cup, a little over half a cup, just about to cover about half of the pasta. You're going to do this method 4 or 5 times until you get the perfect al dente pasta. I went ahead and gave it a taste, and it was perfect. Perfectly cooked. So that's just a different way to do it. It's such a great way because the pasta actually keeps all that starch inside. So it's going to actually help thicken up the sauce. It's going to help all that sauce to actually adhere to the pasta a lot easier. Alright, now, I went ahead and put that pasta in a separate bowl, but I'm using the same dish. I added a little bit of butter, half of a red onion that I diced up. Of course, we're going to season everything with some salt and some fresh cracked black pepper. Now, I'm using the same dish because it had a little starch on the bottom. That's going to naturally help thicken up my sauce without adding any kind of extra cornstarch or, any kind of extra thickeners. To that, we added a little bit more of the white wine. I let that reduce for a little bit. I chopped up about 2 garlic cloves here, and we're going to throw that in. Once the garlic has cooked just a little bit down, about a minute or 2, we are going to throw in some mushrooms. I'm using baby portobellos. You can use whatever kind, shiitake, regular button, any kind of mushrooms you like. Mix them up. That would be a great idea. I just had a lot of portobellos. I seasoned it with some fresh, actually crushed red pepper, and some salt and some fresh cracked black pepper. And once the mushrooms were cooked down, we're going to throw in some chicken stock. Now I used about maybe a can and a half of chicken stock here. I don't have the exact measurements, but I pretty much just covered them to where they're going to fill up the pan, because that's going to reduce, and just that flavor is just going to intensify 10 times. Alright, now while that was simmering, I ran out to the garden and grabbed some parsley that we had growing, and we're going to give that a nice little chop. We're going to add about maybe half of it to the pasta right now, just to give it a little more extra flavor, let that flavor meld while it's while the pasta is cooling down just a little bit. And we're running back to the chicken broth that's been simmering down. As you can tell, it's thickening up. Every couple of minutes, I'm going to give it a nice little stir. Make sure you stir it every so often. And about 20-30 minutes later, it's going to take a while, but you're going to have all that sauce that has just thickened up. It has intensified in the flavor. It's beautiful. We're going to toss in the other half of that parsley that we chopped up and give it a nice stir. Alright, to that, we're going to throw in some Parmesan cheese. I don't know exactly how much I use. I'm thinking about half a cup here that I tossed in. Of course, just taste and adjust. That's what I do with pretty much all my dishes, just to see if it needs a little more cheese or a little more pasta or a little more cream, which is the next thing I'm throwing in here. Throwing in a nice little cream just to get that creamy flavor. And we're going to cook that for maybe a couple of minutes more. Just to let that cream also intensify and simmer down a little bit. Once that's done, we're going to toss in that pasta that has all that starch. Now, all that starch, like I said, is going to help that beautiful sauce adhere to the pasta. Give that a nice churn. I maybe cooked that for a minute more, and it was time to start plating. We're going to throw that in a nice dish, top it off with a little more of that fresh grated Parmesan cheese, and we are done. And it was gorgeous, let me tell you. Beautiful. Oh, those mushrooms, so soft. That sauce is so thick. The cheese, the cream, delicious. Alright, well, that's my mushroom dish, guys. If there's anything you guys would like to learn how to make, let me know. And as always, hope you guys enjoy.